Yo. Everybody share this post. Gonna let y'all know what's up for real. We'll wait till a few people get online. We're gonna talk about it. So I'm gonna invite all types of questions. It don't really matter what it is. It's just facts only. And that's it. I try to get Lucas into the video, but I don't know how to get him in here. And so he could, well, maybe I could just add him right here. Nah, I can't do that. Alright, so I don't even know where to begin. Where do I begin? This has started back when I'll just start right here. I'll just start when the Red Beezy stuff popped off. Red Beezy had dropped something around Thanksgiving, that Ken Griffey Jr. stuff. And that was pretty much the last straw that I had, as opposed to, you know, doing something about this. At this time, me and Frank weren't even speaking. All right? We weren't even speaking, but I had reached out to him several times to patch it up. So it didn't work, you know, with my efforts. So I had to hit up Dariana and, you know, had her make the peace. You feel what I'm saying? Because any type of friction between me and Frank, we knew that this dope shit wouldn't happen if we didn't work together. I knew that, so I put my pride aside, despite all the racist remarks he said about me, despite all of the hateful comments that he's always said about about myself and my family. You feel what I'm saying? I put that to the side for the love of dope. I already knew in my mind that there probably would be no money to be made. You know what I'm saying? And I treated this shit basically as the last thing of what I'd be doing. Like, this would be the last thing. If I ever do anything else, it'd be the last thing I do. So, contacted Dariana. We had a sit down. You feel what I'm saying? Lucas was there. Carlton Banks. Lucas was involved. We sat down, talked. Frank was very apprehensive to talk to me. You feel what I'm saying? So I just basically tried to patch it up. And we basically did. You know what I'm saying? We let bygones be bygones, and we signed a confidentiality agreement between me, Frank, and Lucas. You know, so no ideas will be leaked and, you know, stuff like that, blah, 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 and protect all of us, which it didn't really work. You know what I'm saying? So initially it was supposed to drop December 28th of last year. That obviously didn't work. So I just kind of started working in secret. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was busy, and I just started work. And then all of a sudden, Frank hits me up. Hey, what do you think about Doe in a casket for his album cover? And I'm like, I don't know about that, bro. If the family's cool with that, I'm cool with that. But if they not, they not. You know, I'm not. So he goes and does this on his own. You feel what I'm saying? And releases the cover, really with Miss Shirley's approval, and I think I don't know, Sharonda had approved it. I know Dariana and Frank, both at the time, so they I don't know. It's two stories. Frank said that she approved it, he put it out, and then she unapproved it. So Dariana said she saw it and she didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't show anybody, he just dropped it on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I'm not deleting it. So nobody saw the cover except Frank. He puts it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. It goes viral, controversy. You feel what I'm saying? And then when it dropped, it caused a lot of problems. You get what I'm saying? It caused a lot of problems for Frank. I told him not to lash out on social media. It was bad luck. Everybody saw the flack. He was getting into it with local people, and then, you know, ultimately Tip. You know what I'm saying? But what led up to him being fired from the radio station and as Domani's manager, we had this conversation. It was systematically done. So I told him, this is how you got fired, bro. You went out on social media, you dropped that, and it was just one thing to drop the cover. It's another thing for you to go back and forth with people you don't know about, make threats with the DA, with the police, this and that. And then Tip calls him and says, what the fuck are you doing? You're endangering the life of my son by you getting into it with other people. So, you know, Frank, he said he apologized, blah, blah, this and that. I'll never do it again. You know, I'd do anything for your son, blah, blah, this and that. And he says, nobody's doing nothing for dough. I'm just trying to figure something out. Then Tip hangs the phone up. So I'm assuming they had a backroom meeting about Frank, about what they should do. And so, and this is how he explained it. They had a meeting. They dropped his percentage. He got fired because of all of that. It made sense to me. But when he got fired and went at Tip like that, it caused us a whole lot of problems because we were relying on Frank to do his part to get these features. You know, reaching out to Meek Mill, reaching out to Chief Keef, reaching out to Rick Ross, reaching out to Dolph, and nobody came back because Frank with that Tip. Because you got to look at it and understand it from their point of view. Why would I be involved in something that he's not promising any money? Just say if like I'm Young Dolph or some shit. You offer me to be on Doe's album, and God bless the dead, he's gone. He's not signed to another label. There's no money involved. And you want me to be on Doe's album without giving me any splits, any publishing. Why would I do that? Why? And I'm doing you a favor. You get what I'm saying? So if I'm Dolph, I'm doing Doe a favor, but you don't want to give me any publishing on the back end, and I'm knowing that there's no upfront money. Why would I do that? Why? So just think about it, Ross. And then when you go at Tip, it's not nobody's gonna back you. Nobody's gonna follow up with that. So it made it very difficult for me and Carlton. You know what I'm saying? You gotta shout out Carlton because he was the one that got a lot of the features. You know what I'm saying? And the mixtape that's out now is incomplete. I give Frank credit that he got Trey the Truth on the album, on the mixtape, but that was before the Tip beef. You get what I'm saying? So after that, nobody came back, and then he didn't even follow up with anybody. He was so depressed and going back and forth with everybody, getting high, popping pills, all this type of stuff. You feel what I'm saying? And social media whoring it out. You get what I'm saying? To a point where there was no help. So we had to do stuff from scratch. You know what I'm saying? I had to basically come up with a miracle to whip up all these songs from nothing. And he leaked a lot of stuff out already. You know what I'm saying? So I said there will be a moment in time. This is right after Doe died. There'll be a moment in time where we would need to use all these songs. So you need to wait and be patient. But, you know, Frank don't listen. He just does what he does. So He goes and does that. He didn't go reach out to Chief. He didn't reach out to Dolph. He didn't reach out to nobody else. Or maybe he tried to, but most of the time he was just wallowed in his own depression. So me and Carlton made the effort to put everything together. And the plan was to get everything done by the time I left to go out of the country, which was like early May of this year. The album was done early May. And who we were talking to were supposedly the estate, which was Michael and Dwayne, which represented Kenny. And that's a whole nother conversation. But Mike and Kenny were acting like they were administrators of the estate. So when we realized that we were talking to the wrong people, and the real administrator was Ed Parrish, we contacted Ed Parrish, the real admin of the state. And I didn't know it, but you know, Ed became admin in September 2014. You guys can see this. Might be backwards. So going back to end of last year and top of this year, you know, talking to Mike and Dwayne, they were acting like they were administrators of Dovey's estate, Glenn Thomas' estate. And we realized we were talking to the wrong people. So we went and contacted Ed Parrish and went to go sit down with them, right? So, hold on. Let me put my stuff on Do Not Disturb. All right, okay. So we go and sit down with Ed Parrish, and we're telling Frank, yo, you need to be at this meeting because this is very important. And this is after I got back from Shanghai, probably like middle of May or something like that. And he didn't want to come to the meeting. Frank didn't want to come to the meeting. For what reason? I don't know why. He, like I said, he lost his job and he was just scrapping. So maybe it was difficult for him to come down for the meeting. So he came down and sat down. Well, let me backtrack. Let me go back to the money part. It would initially this mixtape, this album was going to be for free, and me and Lucas were doing this pro bono. You feel what I'm saying? Off the love of dough. You know what I'm saying? So when Frank lost his job and got fired by Domani, he was trying to get by. You know what I'm saying? Selling any and everything that he can, you know what I'm saying, to survive, to live. And so it was then that he came to me and Lucas saying, hey man, you know, I lost my job. You know, maybe we should get 10% each. I was like, all right, well, I mean, if you're going to get paid 10%, then of course we would get paid 10%. So we agreed. That's fine. That sounds fair. Instead of the initial, whatever, Frank owns half of those lyrics, which means if 100% of a song is 50% music, 50% lyrics, Frank would own 25%. Well, actually, he would own 12.5%. And we would own 50% of the music. Breaking down, splits, publishing. You know what I'm saying? So 10% would be fair. We already did the work, so it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? We go meet with the estates and we explain to them. Well, he explained because he was talking the whole time. You know, y'all want to make money. I put out DOAT3, made $200,000. All we want is 10%, split each way, 3 ways. Y'all have 70%, blah, blah, this and that. And, you know, and to his credit, you know, the estate didn't know a lot. They don't know anything about the music business. You know what I'm saying? So they was like with whatever. But You know, Frank started acting funny after that. Like, we left the meeting feeling good. Like, okay, we're getting something accomplished. This album's about to come out. It's about to drop. And we're going to run it. You know what I'm saying? Finally, something's going to happen. Where it starts to get fickle at is the money situation, where he said, you know, I got this deal through Empire, and they're giving out a $10,000 advance, right? $10,000 advance, and we can use half of that for public relations or PR, and then use the other half to print up CDs and stuff like that. 10,000. So, you know, I was like, all right, cool, that's better than nothing, but it's a bit insulting, you know what I'm saying? But it's better than nothing. So, you know, something was up, because he was wanting me to send the music before the deal was in pass. You know what I'm saying? And no, this is not DOAT3, this is the new album. Well, we'll talk about that 200,000 later. If he even made 200,000. He probably just said a number like that. I don't know. Anyway, Frank was wanting us to send the music before the estate agreed to everything, and they were willing to go with everything. They just wanted to look at the deal, and they wanted to be able to fact check, you know what I'm saying, where the money was going to go, right? Where the money was going to go, and whose hands it passes through. You know what I'm saying? And with Frank's publishing deal, which was with Doe, is extremely bad deal. I got it right here. So it's a pretty bad deal, but the term is over for his deal. But everything created during that term basically is right before he passed. He supposedly owns, but he's supposed to only submit a number of compositions, and publishing can get real complicated. So, you know, if he owed Frank, let's just say he owed him, like, it's like 3 terms, right? And I think it's 3 terms. It's supposed to be like 24 songs, 24 compositions total. Or let's just say even number 20. That 20 compositions is 100% each composition. So if you're just a writer, then that's only 50%. And then if you have features on the song, then that's less than that. So if Doe wrote, let's just say he wrote 40 songs, and he wrote by himself, you know what I'm saying? Then that will fulfill the deal. And he pretty much did, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is that Frank never set up his publishing. Because I remember at a point in time, he called me and tried to ask me about how to set up the ASCAP. And I even asked him recently, back in like June or maybe May, if he set it up. And he said, no, I never set up those publishing. So his splits have never been right from the beginning. Never been right from the beginning, right? So, you know, now the state was willing to honor the 10%, but he was acting very, very, very roguish and wanting to do things his way. You get what I'm saying? And was like, you know, all I gotta do was cut him a check, blah, 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 this and that. The money passes through him first, and then them, and then goes to them. Exactly. How is he gonna get publishing with no publishing? Exactly. But he keeps screaming. It's all about control, y'all. It's all about control. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I've stepped away from this so many times. It's like, I don't need this. But anyway, let me get back to it. He keeps throwing that, you know, I own Doe's publishing, I own Doe's rights. But if you look at it, you know, he released DOAT3 right before the estate was formed, right? So he kept throwing that in my face like he did something, you get what I'm saying? But he doesn't realize that he didn't he put the songs together, but you know, he's never in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go back to the Baby Jesus, he keeps on saying that I don't call no shots. But if you go back to the Baby Jesus trap life, you feel what I'm saying? It's usually me and Doe in the studio by ourselves. You feel what I'm saying? And Doe trusted me to put together the playlist of the mixtape and everything. So anyway, let me keep on going forward. Going back, he wants us to send the music. Frank's begging, like not begging, he's like demanding that we send the music without the agreement in place. And there's no way. I've been in this past situation before with that Tip album, if I'm pointing to it right. Let me go back to that. That Tip album, KO tried to screw me over, right? He basically tried to screw me over because he wanted me to send in the music, the track outs, before the paperwork was in place. And I ain't no dummy, you feel what I'm saying? Like, the paperwork got to be right before I send any music in. You know what I'm saying? So, same situation. The reason that you guys hear the music that you hear now is because we sent Frank these open verse songs for him to follow up with Meek, with Ross, with Dolph, and a bunch of people. You get what I'm saying? And he never followed back through at all. He didn't follow back through at all. Like I said, it was really Carlton getting all these features. I'm not going to name them right now. You feel what I'm saying? But he got a lot of features. He pulled a lot of strings, man. Like, shout out to Carlton. He pulled a lot of strings. And this was off nothing. You know what I'm saying? Off of a relationship. So it just made me realize, dealing with the music business, you have to have relationships to get what you need to get. You get what I'm saying? So, going back to it, let's go back to the Empire deal. 10,000, right? 10,000. Frank acting all crazy. He want the music. He disrespects me on the phone. I got that on video. And the last time we talked was in May. So he's never tried to reach back out at all. He's been posting up on Doe's Instagram, Doe's Twitter, or not Twitter, but Facebook, saying like the producers are the hold up, and you know, I'm doing this for the kids. When he approached us to get money, to get 10%, you know what I'm saying, of whatever. So going back to the Empire deal, it was 10,000, right? So I wanted to see the publishing agreement and the Empire contract. And I looked at it, and the advance was for 15,000, not 10. So Frank was going to keep 5,000 for himself, and he just told us it was for 10,000, the advancement. So in your mind, what would you do? Somebody offer you 10%, okay, cool, but then he controls the deal. And then he pockets 5,000 that he doesn't tell you about, and then he lets the estate have whatever was left. Does that seem fair? It doesn't seem fair, right? So he was going to pocket $5,000, bro. 5,000. That's why I left this shit alone. That's why I was like, I'm gonna step back. Let you do what you do, man. And then you saw him crash out. And then he got mad because it didn't release when he wanted it to. Nobody told him to release it on June 13th. And we only got one shot to drop it. And only one way to monetize for his kids. You get what I'm saying? So if he was truly doing this for his kids, then why would he release it for free? Why? That don't make no sense to me. So, yeah, it's it's a whole lot more to it. I can't really remember right now, but that's what it is, man. I've been trying to do things the right way. Frank came to me during Easter, wanting to make it right with the estate, and he changed his mind so many times because he was trying to rush to get it out. You get what I'm saying? And put it out. And look at the cover. Like, Chasen, you did a horrible cover, man. Not to, be disrespectful, but that was horrible, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you went on a podcast without all the facts. And if you're a true reporter, then you would tell both sides, not side with your friend, which makes your video and podcast biased. You get what I'm saying? So, and then you talk about how I'm going to charge you for these plugins. I never said I wasn't going to charge you for any plugins, bro. I'm a businessman. You get what I'm saying? And plus, going back to the businessman part, I'm not finna have my studio liable to get sued by the estates for riding with Frank and trusting what he says of putting stuff out. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where the money's going. You can't trust, him going back and forth, want to make things right with the state, and then saying that, fuck the state. They don't know nothing. It don't work like that in my mind. I'm a solid dude, man. You feel what I'm saying? Like, there's only one way with me. You know what I'm saying? You're not finna tell me one thing and then go do another and think I'm just gonna follow you like some yes man. I'm my own boss. You feel me? So I don't work for you. And now you work for Chip Ellis. So, that's that. So I'm inviting any type of questions. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all have any questions, please let me know. I'll try to read them out real quick. What questions y'all got? Who split that 200,000? That's a good question. I don't know if it made 200,000. That's what he said. I spoke to another producer that was on that DOAT3 album, and I ain't gonna name his name, but he's like diamond, not platinum. He went diamond, and he said he didn't think it made $200,000. So it obviously wasn't split right, because the splits were never made, because the publishing was never set up. So what do I feel like should be done with the music? I don't know. What can be done? How you gonna beat a man that has nothing to lose when he's already lost everything? This is his last leg. You get what I'm saying? How much does Doe family getting in residuals and royalties? He's getting nothing. They're not getting anything because he released it out for free. He released it out for free. Why was the Never Forget tape pulled? Because it's supposed to be in agreement with all of us for it to be done the right way, and we get it right with the estate. And Frank didn't want to wait for them. And so that's why it was pulled, because we were in agreement to, you got to understand, this is the last thing that could monetize for his little kids. And they can come back, and they probably will. They will come back, they get old enough, and be like, yo, ask the estate, where's the bread at? Where's the money? My dad had 300 songs, blah, blah, this and that. Where's that money at? Like, I don't know. Frank did everything. They gonna sue Frank. You know what I'm saying? They not gonna sue me. I was trying to do the right thing. But they gonna sue Frank. And he might be alive, or, I don't know. But he might be dead. I don't know. But they gonna go back and sue Frank. And, like, they're gonna be like, why did you release my daddy's music for free? Why? This is all that we had of him. Why would you release my dad's music? I know I would say that. Why? Think about the motive behind Frank. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about him trying to make himself look good, or, you know, make himself look like he wasn't a whatever. You know what I'm saying? So this is all facts. You know what I'm saying? And so this whole time, me and Lucas have been trying to make things right with the estate. And it's been a slow process. Like, you can't rush people. There's no money in it. Nobody's getting paid for this. You feel what I'm saying? Except for, you know, lawyer that you hire. You know what I'm saying? So, and there probably won't be no money on the album. And you got to consider the fact that me and Lucas put in a whole lot of time. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to what Chasen said, oh, producing is for fun. Who produces for fun, bro? If you want to produce for fun, then that's all cool, but eventually you do want to get paid. But in this situation, this was all for dough. You know what I'm saying? I had to put my pride to the side for dough. You know what I'm saying? And I did that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still doing this pro bono. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody pay me for this studio time that I took out to remix all these albums, songs, excuse me, reproduce all this. Do what you want, Boston. Remix these songs from scratch. Piece together these verses. Time stretch them. You know what I'm saying? Mix them, master them, reproduce. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have any clearance issues. That takes time, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't no easy feat. That's like a team's job. And I'm doing a team's job by myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know I can handle it because I know who I am. You feel what I'm saying? So if he wants to discredit me, that's all good and fine. That's how he feels. But I know who I am. You understand? But anyway, going back to it, yeah, let me just fact check this this Empire agreement. It was Baby Jesus Music Group that Frank was gonna put it under, and I'm against that title. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn the hard way, but I was against that title. The advancement was supposed to be $10,000. He told me and Lucas this in our face. And when we looked at this contract, where is it at, bro? This contract is probably about 30 pages long. Okay, here we go. Distributor, 7C. Distributor shall advance to label the sum of $15,000 in advance on a one-time basis. I don't know if you guys can read this. 15,000. 15,000. It was supposed to be 10. So that's that. So y'all wonder why I don't fool with nobody, man. You wonder why I don't trust nobody. And all the producers I've talked to in the past, or artists, you wonder why I don't deal with nobody. You can't trust nobody. I know that I can trust Carlton though. That's the only person I trust. That's the only person I trusted through this whole process. And it was a little, you know, shaky at the beginning because we were trying to get this together because we ain't never done this before, bro. But he held it down. You feel what I'm saying? What disappointed me was like Chasen, you know, you supposed to be a Christian guy. We supposed to be Christian guys, whatever. I don't like that label. You know what I'm saying? You go, I understand though. You go and make a podcast with your friend and, you know, but you try to slander me without saying my name. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I sat across from you Thursday on a lunch period with Bird, and you never made one mention of anything. You know what I'm saying? You just smiled in my face and haha, this and that. So you just showed me who you was, man. So I ain't mad at you chasing. You just who you are. You know what I'm saying? And you made a mistake. You know, you did what you did. Who took that mixtape down last night off the sites? We did. We did. We pulled it down. We just pulled off the retransfer. I know it's out, bro, but you know, you just can't trust nobody, man. You just can't trust Frank. You know what I'm saying? I tried. I really tried, man. I really tried. Really tried to patch this up. You get what I'm saying? And it just didn't work, man. It's just some people you can't work with. This is like my third, fourth time trying to work with Frank. The problem is he don't want to work with people. He wants the whole pot. He wants to control it, and he wants all of it to be him only. You get what I'm saying? He doesn't realize, you know, Bird told me, man, this is what Bird said. It stuck to me Thursday. He's like, a real millionaire isn't about himself. It's about everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So no Dopey album anytime soon. I don't know, man. Like if we release another album, Frank is just gonna download it and give it away. You get what I'm saying? So how can you defeat somebody like that? You know what I'm saying? That's why I've always said this shit has been cursed from the beginning, man. Like, I really feel bad. Like, you guys gotta think about it. And I agreed to that No Life After Death because the album title, because it was just nothing, man. Like, I don't want to call out specifics, but, you know, the dealings with the families being split apart, you know, everything going wrong. It's taking so long to indict the people that killed him. The music never being right. We can't work together. That's why we ain't gonna make it in Montgomery. So, any other questions? What was that? So yeah, this was about money for Frank. Don't get this misconstrued. Like, I'm comfortable where I'm at. I can feed myself. You know what I'm saying? Carlton makes enough to feed himself. You know what I'm saying? We took out our extra time to make this pop, to make it pop. So, was that the original mixtape? No, it was supposed to be no mixtape. It wasn't no. It's supposed to be wasn't supposed to be no mixtape. This is supposed to be for real. Is there any way to go around Frank? I mean, you know, we can go to court and have this agreement thrown out. It's egregious because, like, think about it. This is a publishing agreement, right? Publishing agreement. So, in the publishing agreement, you're supposed to exchange something or, you know, for a percentage. You know what I'm saying? Do something for a percentage. He didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Supposed to give money, but didn't get any money. It's called for consideration. There was no money involved. So excuse me, my bad. It can be thrown out, but there's no money to go to court about this. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it up myself, but you know, whatever. But what else y'all want to know, man? Was that the original mixtape? That is not supposed to be a mixtape. It's supposed to be an album, bro. That's not the complete one. Why Frank leaked the tape? Because he wanted to be petty. If you realize that I produced the majority of it because he's at me. He doesn't like me. You know what I'm saying? He don't like Lucas. He don't like Lucas because his baby mama likes Lucas. You know what I'm saying? So and he don't like me because I want to do things the right way. I didn't know what to say to you, Tamara. I didn't know what side you was on, so that's why I never spoke to you, Tamara. I never spoke to you, and that's why, because I didn't know who to trust. Cause like, you know, I heard some things, Tamara, but you know, I didn't know what to say. So I just, T.I.'s not gonna do nothing. Frank got the music because we sent him the open verses. We can't contact T.I. T.I. ain't gonna do nothing. Why you think T.I. is gonna do something? He never did anything from the beginning. I mean, he didn't want to, and you can't blame him. Would you want to be in a mess with so many hands in the pot trying to get what they trying to get? Who wants to be a part of that? And don't know who to talk to is just a bunch of mess. Bunch of people that can't get their shit together. Who wants to be a part of that? You get what I'm saying? So, what else, man? I know, right? It's crazy, Calvin. What does Doc say about the situation? Doc who? What's my next move with the whole thing? I don't know, man. So T.I. used Doe as a puppet? Nah, T.I. did not use Doe as a puppet. T.I. was actually pretty solid about it. You know what I'm saying? T.I. didn't have to do what he did. Actually, when Doe got signed, I told him not to sign the deal. When he signed the deal, he got stuck on the shelf because the point person that signed him to the deal got either left or got fired top of the year. So it was like some periods of time where nothing was happening. So Frank went to Tip. You got to give Frank credit. Frank went to Tip and talked to Tip to make something happen. They didn't have any paperwork together. They just added another side of management of Tip's homeboy to make stuff work. And then Tip, you know, things were moving on that end. So I know, me too, real. So Tip did his thing, but you can't blame Tip for not wanting to be involved, man. You know what I'm saying? He could, exactly, he can only do so much. Who you think the next to blow? I don't know. We won't if we don't get it all together. I thought Alvin was supposed to be owed to the label for the deal that they'll sign. The masters got transferred over to the estate. You know what I'm saying? So the masters and publishing rights are two different things. No, we can't buy no Dolby verses. I'm not gonna. And let me go to that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, there were Dolby verses sold. You know what I'm saying? If you remember, case in point, Lil Daddy, the Ain't Seeing Me song, Dolby on there, right? And Lil Boosie. Initially, Lil Daddy put him on there, but Frank pressured him for some money for the verse, right? And from what I remember, I'm not gonna say the amount, but it was some thousands, right? Now, if you're supposed to be for the family, cool. You know, I heard some of that money went to Miss Shirley, which is fine. But I don't know where the rest of the money went. It had to go in his pocket because it damn sure didn't reach the estate. And when Nard paid for his verse on Invisible, it didn't reach the estate. He probably split it with Shirley and kept some for himself. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of that going on y'all don't know about. So what else, man? Was Doe signed before he died? Yeah, he was. Hope, I ain't heard from Hope. Can't play anything on radio. Nothing has been solidified. You know what I'm saying? We've been trying to work with Frank, but you know, I can pull that video out and show you the last conversation I had with Frank, and he disrespected me on the phone. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, what man's gonna continue to work with somebody that, you know, I ain't finna do that. Alright, what else, bro? So we'll have all the verses that on out. I don't know. We're gonna try to do something, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always about doing things the right way. Me and Carlton have always been that way. So we will get it right some type of way. But his publishing agreement is egregious, which means it's just terrible and very unfair. So it can be thrown out. I'm not really worried about that. Frank owns. He's supposed to own. Publishing is very complicated. Like I said, 100% of music, 100% of a song is 50% music, 50% lyrics. So that would mean Frank and his partners will own 25 of the 50 of the lyrics. The music producer will own 50 of the music. He infringed on my copyrights and Carlton's copyrights. That's why we had it snatched down. Because he didn't have permission to do that. Even though he has permission to have those stuff, but he's refusing to work with anybody. You know what I'm saying? How I would have did this is that we pull these features in, right? We offer them a back end on publishing just to be fair. Because if we can get a Zaytoven, get a honorable C note, we can get, people like Chief and Meek never, hit back. But people that reached out, you know what I'm saying? Like, why not offer them a piece of publishing on the back end? If you're not charging us up front, it could be tens of thousands, $20,000, $30,000, bro. And they're foregoing that for dough. But you don't want to offer them back end. I would offer them back end. But Frank won't run the show. And this is where we at. A free mixtape that's not being monetized. So I just want Doe to rest in peace. It probably won't be able to with his music. So yeah, I ain't made no Rush Hour movie yet. Rush Hour 4 coming soon. So how the hell Red Beezy remix Doe's shit? Red Beezy, I talked to him the year after Doe died, which was 2014, and Kenny came to me in December saying we need to put something together. This is where it went, the shit between me and Frank. Kenny comes to me end of December 2014 saying we need to put something out for the 28th. Michael reaches out to me, the lawyer. We need to put some song out. I'm about to go to London, bro. So I ain't got the time, and you hit me like 2 days before I'm about to leave. You feel what I'm saying? So they go and give it to a guy that we don't even know about, Red Beezy, Red Boy. And he goes and I talked to Red on the phone, and like the lawyer Mike was telling him like, let Bow listen to everything. He knows his catalog the best, blah blah this and that. And so I talked to Red, said, yeah, I got everything. I got Shawty Low and C-Lo on deck, and they ready to do something. I'm gonna put it together real good. I was like, all right, cool, just put it together. Let me just hear it when you finish. Get off the phone. I emailed him some suggestions and stuff. Never hear back from him. You know what I'm saying? And then Kenny comes back around. Well, Mike comes around and is like, he emailed me and said like, we want you to work with you with those stuff, and that's that. And I was like, all right, cool. And it's like they don't want to work with Frank. I was like, all right, that's fine. I mean, he wasn't really involved musically or in the studio. That's cool with me. And then I told Kenny that, and then he goes and tells Frank, and Frank blows up. You know what I'm saying? And I just let him know, like, look, you really weren't involved with the music. I mean, we just putting it together. But he gets mad, super mad, and then you can't talk to nobody like that when they get mad. So that's that. And we had been in beef for a minute. Well, he had been beefing with me. So, what else, bro? I don't care if he goes live. This is the facts. He's gonna tell you lies. On the podcast, he told you a lie talking about some we approached him for some, to get some compensation. I approached him to do things the right way, and I got video and conversations on audio to back me up, so I ain't telling no lie. You know what I'm saying? But he can go make a live. This is facts, all facts. You know, we can go fact check everything that I say. I got the paperwork right here. So, fake a disability case. I don't know, man. So this is it, man. Time for that interview. This is the interview, Tori. You better ask me some questions now. Doe's mom did approve it. She actually wanted him shot on the floor as the album cover. I don't know where you find him. You can find him at Chip Ellis Auto Sales. Alright. So what else, bro? Tor, you got some questions you better ask me, bro. Why does Allen treat Alabama like this? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, bro. What else, man? I'm finna hang this up in a minute. I'm trying to think of something else. Shouts out to Dariana, man. If she didn't make the piece, this would never happen. What do you think Doe would say about all this? Doe said, fuck Frank White when he died. There's video of that. He has a lot of songs unreleased. Well, he has a lot of songs released, so. What's the next step? I have an idea. I just can't tell you. We don't stand together. That's very true. Just hit me up on the messenger. No, I'll never play a Doe song. Y'all got 10 free ones right now. I don't know, Slay. Who's all involved in Doe's estate? It's just one guy. It's Ed Parrish. Ed Parrish. He actually became administrator of the estate at September 2014, bro. 29th day. September 14. Ed Parrish, right there. But I was approached by Kenny December 2014, which threw me off. And then we didn't really know who the real estate administrator was until this past May. Can Hustle Gang release? No. No, they can't. It's somewhere, man. You know, me and Carlton produced a majority of it. You know what I'm saying? So, try to do the right thing, y'all. It just didn't work. It just didn't work, man. Try to do the right thing. And Ed Parrish is the administrator of the estate. What else? Who owes all the copyrights? The estate owns the masters. Frank has publishing rights. So basically, we have to work together, man, for it to work. But Frank is refusing to. Frank wants to run his own show. That's the thing. He wants to run his own show. And if it doesn't go his way, he lashes out. And he's supposed to be a born-again Christian. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's why I really hate, you know, like, not to down Christianity or, you know, because I'm a very spiritual person, or at least try to be, or try to do the right thing. Like, if you're supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, a man of God, then why you acting like this, bro? And that deters other people that are wanting to know more about a better side of things. You know what I'm saying? Not to get too spiritual or religious. It's just like, you say you're one thing, but you act a certain way. Now, I'm not perfect either, but I've tried to talk to him about this. Didn't work. So, yeah, he's turning his grave. Yeah, he want, like I said, it was Ed Parrish had to take over. I don't even know if I want to say this. Ed Parrish had to take over the admin of the state because funds were misappropriated or spent in the wrong way. So a state appointed administrator had to take over the estate. All right, man. I'm about to sign out, bro. I got all the music, you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get everything cleared through the estate. I want to do it the right way. I'm not gonna do it no wrong way. We got one shot. One shot. So if it was never announced, if the album date was never announced or was made, you gotta think Frank is not a thinker. He's an impulse person. So he does stuff off impulse. He dropped the album cover without any thought. You know what I'm saying? And expected us to put everything together in 1 month, which we did exceedingly from scraps. And then demanding the music without an agreement. Would you do that? I'm not. If those music put on the radio, TV, would see that check. There's probably some money out there publishing wise, but the publishing was never set up, so publishing was never set up. Still not set up to this day. It's hard to keep Doe alive, man. Doe signed a bad deal, man. I told him not to, but there was a person there. When I told him this, I was like, look, you sign this deal, I'm with you. You don't sign this deal, I'm with you. But I'm letting you know right now, this is a bad deal. And I understand why he signed it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm finna sign out, man. Been around these cats for a long time. You know how they are and how they work and how they move. I ain't trying to make no money, man. This is all for those kids. It really is. It really is. Like, there's not gonna be any money in it. Like, he's just trying to get that $5,000 check off that that $15,000 advance. So now y'all know the truth. This is about money to line Frank's pockets. Always has been. I didn't know it until I saw the paperwork myself. That's why you can't trust anything you hear. You trust half of what you see and none of what you hear. This shit is like the streets, bro. You gotta read people's body language. Grand Hustle doesn't help the family. They don't have to. So who knows, man? I just addressed it, J. Marsh. The album cover was trash. I don't know what Chasen thought about making that album cover. He probably had CJ do that. Never forget. Nobody. Why? You know, it's just a bad it's a misrepresentation of Doe. All of it since he died. It's been a misrepresentation from the beginning, man. But like I said, well, I'll tell you what. I created the Facebook page. You feel what I'm saying? Of Doe's. I had access to the Twitter at one point. And Instagram. I actually had to get the password for Instagram because they couldn't get it. I had access to Doe's email You feel what I'm saying? And Greg was begging me to get the access to the Instagram. And then I changed the password, gave it to him. They locked me out. Frank and Greg did. Facebook, I created the page. Greg and Frank locked me out of that. You know what I'm saying? And then just think about it. Look at all the stuff that Doe's done. Since then, his Instagram is horribly looking trash. Doe would never let that fly. Carlton always did the covers. His mom don't really have any say so, like, you know, with any of it. You know what I'm saying? What kind of deal did Doe sign? It was a 360 deal. Greg Calloway, Kevin Gates' manager. Not Greg Street. Not Greg Street. 15,000, no, 15,000 to put this one album out. Too many hands in the pot. It's a sad situation, man. So I just want y'all to know, man, I ain't trying to prove nothing, but I'm just really just trying to state facts. So I'm out. I'm signing out, man. Who can override Frank? We gotta go to court to throw his agreement out. But there's no money. Who's gonna go to court to do that? There's no money, man. There's nothing. Whose was he signed to? What's the 360 deal? Go Google it. It's actually 5,000. We might hear another one. All right, I said enough. Holla at y'all. The music was already leaked. Why was it taken down? Because he infringed on my copyrights. All right, man. Be easy.